Another way to determine loan information and to do your research is by looking at the application and solicitation disclosure statements of lenders. All lenders are required to have this. Alternative state-based lenders like MEFA and private lenders. The Federal Plus loan doesn't have this information, but all the other loans should have this information on their website. It is a guideline that's required of these lenders, and it provides details about the loan and the estimated total loan cost by repayment option. So it's a good way to compare loans. You can look at the interest rates. Are there any fees? So I'll just show you real quick where you can find MEFA's application and solicitation disclosure right on our loan page. So I'll just scroll down here. You can see the tab where you see all the interest rates. There's a disclosure tab. So you just click on that disclosure and you can find general information. When you apply for a loan, you'll get a new disclosure that has your exact rate based on the repayment option that you chose. That will be a little bit more detailed than this general disclosure that you can look at ahead of applying. So you can see the ranges of interest rates, 5.75 to 8.95. And every lender is required on these disclosure statements to list $10,000 examples for each of their repayment options at their highest interest rate. So really showing you the worst case scenario for each repayment option as far as cost goes. So it is important to look at that total cost, and you can see as loans are deferred, the rates might go up, but also the total cost is going up. Also on this disclosure statement, required to show you what the federal options are and any other loan details. So let's look at a comparison of a MEFA loan disclosure based on this year's rates in lender B, for example. Go through this in a little bit detail. So you can see with MEFA's lowest interest rate for immediate repayment, it does start at 5.75, but it can go up to 8.5%. So we want to show you that. That loan can cost up to a little over $15,000 if you take the full 10 years to pay off that loan. So if we look at lender B in their immediate repayment loan, that's over $27,000 because their highest interest rate is 16.5%. Now, hopefully, you'll fall below that if you're looking at other lenders, but it is good to know what that total cost would be because that's a big difference there. Then if you're looking at the deferred option, we'll look at the MEFA deferred option over 15 years. Again, at the highest rate at 8.75, still well below the Federal Plus loan at 9.08%. It's a little over $21,200. So that's the maximum you would pay if you made minimum payments. Now, most education loans, such as MEFA, do not have prepayment penalties, so you can pay down the loan sooner, double up your payments to save some in interest. But this just shows you what it could be. Now, if you look at lender B, because of their high interest rates, that total cost is over $47,300 for the same $10,000 loan. So just by choosing a different lender for an immediate repayment loan over MEFA, you would be paying almost $12,000 more. For the deferred option, $26,000 more just in interest for a $10,000 loan. So you really want to look at that full range of interest rates. If you have an 850 credit score, then you might be accessing those lowest advertised rates, but most people are gonna, fall more in the middle range there. So let's look at a couple of other lender disclosure statements. These are not MEFA disclosures because our rates aren't this high, but we want to show you, just some things to be aware of when you're shopping. So these disclosure statements are going to show you the range of interest rates. We'll look at this fixed rate example. This one can be from 4.75 to up to 16.53%, depending on credit and the repayment option that this person might choose for this lender. You can see the different repayment options they have. Interest only, fixed repayment, principal and interest while they're in school, as well as deferred repayment. And you can see as you push out that loan, the cost goes up there. And you can see the total cost much different. So if you look at a variable rate example, you can also see it's always going to show you that range of interest rates. So you can see this one for another lender is almost 9% to almost 16. 0.7%, so 16.69%, which is very high comparatively. But you can also see if there's any loan fees. Now, MEFA does not charge fees on our education loans, but this lender does charge some late fees, so it's good to know what those fees could be. So there's no hidden fees. And I mentioned variable rate loans if you want to look at that cap. So here you can see what the cap would be on this loan, 18%. It will never go over 18%. And it also shows you on this disclosure statement for this variable rate, what that rate is tied to. So what is the index that it's tied to? How do they determine that variable rate?